Being equipped with the resources and knowledge you need beforehand will ensure that you can remember what you need to do in any crisis situation. Understanding what is happening and how you should react will give you the assurance you need to rationalize calmly, because panicking will only result in hasty decisions and counterproductive mistakes. We're going to provide you with a useful summary of what you should and shouldn't do during a range of crisis situations, drawing from the experiences and anecdotes of rescuers, travelers, and police officers. By the way, if you're passionate about learning and discovering, then please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Flash floods can happen unexpectedly and without warning. If you find yourself in the midst of a flash flood, then it is integral that you move to the closest area of higher ground without a moment's hesitation. When you're outside, you should never climb on trees which can be uprooted or flimsy constructions which can be swept away. If you're inside a house, then it's recommended that you climb onto the roof and wait for rescuers to find you. If this is not possible, for example in a skyscraper or a block of apartments, then get to the highest floor you can. Falling onto the subway tracks can be a terrifying experience, but it is important to react rationally. First and foremost, you should never attempt to climb up the steel contact rails onto the platform, because these are always electrically charged. Instead, you should scream as loudly as possible to attract the attention of the subway staff, who can then inform the driver of an oncoming train that you're on the tracks. You should then walk in the opposite direction of where the train will come from. The black and white lines which are painted on the ground and walls will indicate to you where the first passenger car stops. If needed, attract the train driver's attention by shouting, waving your arms, and using your phone's torch. Whenever you're caught in a lightning storm and you're outside, the first thing that you should do is move at least 6 feet away from any people you're with. Once you've done that, walk calmly in search of shelter. Search for trees that aren't too tall or with thick canopies. If you're in a mountainous area, walk downhill in search of lower grounds. In fields, don't hide behind a haystack because they can be struck by lightning. In situations where there is no shelter at all, you should crouch down and place your head between your bent knees. Any metal or electrical items, including your phone, should be at least 15 feet away from you. It is worth remembering that before a thunderclap, the wind will either stop blowing or change direction, information which should help you to work out the movement of the storm. Count the seconds between a flash of lightning and the sound of the thunder, because the less time there is, then the closer the storm, and vice versa. When conditions are dry enough, forest fires can engulf a vast area in a matter of seconds. First of all, figure out the direction of the wind, because this will usually dictate the movement of the flames. Then run perpendicular, not parallel from the direction of the fire's spread. If you cannot escape the fire, then your subsequent option is to seek out a body of water and immerse yourself in it. If there is no water around, try to locate a glade or a clearing, where it is recommended that you clear away any branches and leaves. Dig a hole, cover yourself with damp soil, and wait until the fire stops. Calling the emergency services and informing them of the forest fire is also advised if you have access to a phone. Many rescuers have observed that when someone loses their way in the woods, panic begins to descend and they desperately search for a way out. This is often a fatal mistake, because you then miss critical landmarks such as rivers, pathways, and roads. You can then stray away from the perimeter of the designated search area, and the rescue team will miss you. It is essential that you stay calm, and if you have a phone, then call the emergency services or a loved one and inform them of your location. Keep an eye out for landmarks such as rivers, pathways, and roads. Sometimes a path may disappear, but it probably means that you're on the wrong end, and if you follow it to the other side, you will come across a populated area. Make sure that you don't follow animal paths, which will usually have overhanging branches and lead to a watering hole or nowhere at all. In a moment of crisis, your reaction is critical to the outcome of the situation. This is particularly important if you happen to find yourself in mortal danger when your fight or flight response is activated. The instinctive and intuitive decision you make in those first few seconds will decide your likelihood of survival. With the information we've presented above, you'll know exactly what you need to do, and this will provide you with all the confidence and assurance you need to come to a rational and logical decision. If you enjoyed this exploration, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for even more fascinating insights.